inflation over. They say it's a recession that we living in. That's what they say. So I don't play about my dignity.
Not at all, man. Welcome to the Grind Av Podcast Live, y'all. Listen, hey, big deal just went down in my city, man. They came back with the verdict. The Derek Chauvin trial. The man was found guilty on all 3 accounts, man. Let's just give it up for that. I know that from my people, this is a long time coming, man. They've been in the DMs all day. Listen, this here is bigger than just this one case. We looking to obviously influence policy off this, man, and try to get some of these laws changed. And I know it seemed like a small step, but it's actually pretty significant, man. And so I knew when I heard Governor Walz talking, and he was talking that shit. You know what I'm saying? He was talking like I never heard him talk before, and making references to our black community specifically, who's been pretty much victim to the police brutality, man, for decades on end. And then even above that, dealing with the issue of white supremacy. And this came out of his own mouth as a white man. And so I just want to, just recognize that, man. And just know, the fight's never done, man. The fight's never done. We're going to continue to push forward, man, and fight for justice in this particular space, man. This is decades worth of stuff, y'all. And I know so many people were holding their breath, man. I was looking at some of the comments on the feeds, and people were, just leading up to the actual verdict being read. They were talking about feeling, nauseous and feeling a little bit sick, man. And it's like, dude, people don't understand when these things, when it happened to one of us, it happens to all of us, man. And so I could just feel that energy, man. Prayers definitely went up, man, and prayers were answered. So hopefully this is the start to something that's going to be transformational, changing, man, from here on out, man. It's going to, think about it, y'all. 2021. And we've been dealing with this since the inception of this country, man. And what I mean by that is just the overall energy. And so, man, it's taking this long. Me and a few buddies were just talking about, the Rodney King verdict, man. And that was what, 92, 93, maybe 94. And just remembering this, how we felt when those officers got off on that. When we all saw what happened, man, we all saw those dudes surrounding that brother in the dark street and was swinging that baton like a baseball bat, man, hitting this brother, man, and him to just be still getting up and I don't want to say resist. He wouldn't resist him, man. It just was symbolic of our strength, brother. You know what I'm saying? That's what I saw, man. No matter how much folks try to beat us down, man, we still keep on fighting. And so, that really made me think about, it was a native brother who had jumped on one of my posts, man. It kind of took me by surprise, because he was thinking that we were spewing hate. And it's like, dude, we're trying to fight for justice. We're talking about the wrongs that have been done, over time. And so what did he say? He said, oh yeah, I'm native and you don't hear us, griping about it. I said, listen, man, when it come to my people, brother, like I just told you about Rodney King, we don't stay down for nobody, man. We didn't get this far by not fighting, by not marching in the streets, by not showing up and having a voice and screaming loudly. And I think what happened was, if we want to keep it all the way on it, what happened was, it was when we rioted when the young folks took to the streets and had to make some noise, man. And to be honest, a lot of that arson shit that happened, that was from out of towners, straight up out of towners. But either way, it contributed to the overall message that we were trying to send. And that's that no more, man. We tired of this shit, man. Straight up. We tired, bro. For real. Ain't no more this turning the other cheek and, looking the other way so you could keep slapping me in my face, man. You understand what I'm saying? And like Dr. King said, man, the riots are the voice of the unheard. We done been unheard for centuries. You understand what I'm saying? So sometimes the message got to look a little unconventional. Sometimes things are going to get a little bit kind of intense, man. Straight up. Because y'all done had it messed up for so long, man, that, it's tripped out because the people that were contacting me, they were kind of still in the shock. Like, I don't even know how to act, bro. Like, this is like so... like this is just so they were just kind of stuck, and I understood where they were coming from. And again, man, this is you talking about generational with this. Okay, this is we're not fooled and thinking that this is gonna be an instant fix nationwide. Like we get that, man, but like I was just telling one of my other guys too, I'm like, dude, it's the little victories, man. If you think back just throughout history, it's always been one event after the other. It might have been 5 years, 10 years apart, but it was these monumental steps that had to be overcome. You understand what I'm saying? In order to even get us to the spot that we're at now. And so that's what we just got to know, man. Push it forward, man. And with this and with the results that we just got today, we're just going to have to keep applying pressure across the nation all the way around when it comes to law enforcement, when it comes to just equal rights and racial equity across the board. It's still an unequal level playing field. And, things got to change, man. Things are going to change. And that's because change is inevitable. You see what I'm saying? That's what the riots were about at the Capitol. Like, those people were fearful. They're very fearful about the change that's happening right now. The sad part is they think that somebody's trying to take something from them. Like, nobody's trying to take nothing from y'all. We just want what's ours. You understand what I'm saying? Just because that bill hasn't been paid don't mean that the debt isn't owed. You got to understand that. This country was built, excuse me, on the backs of our people, man. We were promised that 40 acres and a mule, brother. We still never got that, man. Y'all got hundreds of years of free labor. How dare you think that you don't owe us? You understand? So, this is huge, man. I'm going to be checking this kind of periodically. Because I got some brothers, man, who might tap in, but for the most part, man, like I said, I was gonna go live regardless. Everybody's seen, excuse me, everybody has seen the verdict by now. But again, I'm shooting live from ground zero, man. In Minneapolis, like I said, I used to live. Shoot, that happened on 38th in Chicago, man. I used to stay on 31st in Chicago, man. Attended Roosevelt High School over south. Very familiar with that area. I even got some footage over there when I took my son over to the memorial last summer. And, I might put it out there a little bit later on, man. But, man, it's sad because that particular store, Cup Foods, has been a staple in that community. And it was just an unfortunate, when you think about the chain of events, the things that led up to what happened, man, just me thinking about what that young man said as far as he wished that he could have paid that $20 out of his own check. You understand what I'm saying? Like, that's huge, man. The trauma that Donald Williams, the young lady who recorded it, the EMT that showed up, like the trauma that these people, that was forced upon them, man. It was just ridiculous. It's ridiculous, man. And I'm going to tell you just the whole stature of how Derek Chauvin just kind of sat there with his hands in his pockets as if, yeah, ain't shit gonna happen to me. I'm gonna do this. That speaks to that privilege, like that white systemic privilege that you hear us talk about all the time. That flat out exists, man. And I told you, I'm gonna keep it 100. We don't sugarcoat or dance around no subjects around here, man. Because that's part of the problem. People turn the other, the other way, try to act like they don't see what's going on. I see it. I've been through it. I've experienced it. And so we're going to call it what it is. We're going to call out white supremacy. We're going to call out racial injustices, man. That's just what it is, man. And so it's just time for everybody else to recognize what it is. Because all these people who I see up and down these threads, oh, but he was a criminal. He shouldn't have been a criminal. What they don't understand is simply this. Criminal or not, and this go for young Dante Wright too. Just like this murderer just had his day in court, they should have had their day in court. They should not have lost their lives at that particular moment. And these police took that opportunity away. Okay. The problem is that the way these guys go about administering the law is different when it comes to people who look like me. See, that's the real problem. Criminal or not, man. So stop with this. Oh, he was on drugs. He was this. He was that. Listen. Did that warrant the method in which they took in administering the law? No, it didn't. Okay. Flat out. No, it did not. So let's start having a real conversation here, man. Let's have a real conversation, because I think a lot of people, you got to take a look in the mirror, man. You got to take a look in the mirror, man. And what's happening, chances are you sitting around people who think exactly like you. So there's no growth happening there. It's the damn blind leading the blind. You understand me? And nobody's holding you accountable for your ignorance. I'm all about, doing these PDs and in the racial justice courses and the trainings that people have. But let's be honest here, man. Let's be real. What we've been talking about is simply treating us with the same respect that you want. That shouldn't take no damn course. That shouldn't take no professional development. That's just common courtesy. That's just being a decent human being, man. And so we're over the whole, trying to, we got to try to prove to you, give you ways in which you should interact to treat us, when in reality, that was never the intent. So we got to quit pretending on that end, man. With my people, we're so damn forgiving of everybody. Okay. I don't give a damn how many checks you write. I don't care how many checks you write. How do you continue to treat my people? And that's what we're talking about. We need real systemic change. We need police reform nationwide, real training. I mean, we thought we were doing something when we implemented the body cams, man. And it seems as though things got worse than ever. These fools have been turning the cameras off. You understand what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. Come on. But the difference with this one was it went worldwide. You understand? This wasn't just a Minnesota thing. This wasn't just across the nation, man. We had worldwide support, man. What happened on 38th in Chicago in South Minneapolis. It's ground zero. You understand what I'm saying? Like this, that affected people way across the world, man. You understand what I'm saying? This was a big deal. And so I sit here and I just wonder because, I'm one for looking at the data as well, man. Minnesota was the number 2 worst state in the country, literally a couple of years ago. Number 2, not 5, not 10. We were top 2. And guess who was number 1? Wisconsin, our next door neighbors. Okay. Those of us who stay here and had to drive through Wisconsin, we already knew what it was. We didn't even have to wait for no stats to come out, man. We've all had our experiences going through Wisconsin, whether you were going to Chicago, Missouri, or whatever. Like we already knew that, man. But it's time, man. It's time. It's time. And I got people who who are hating on their brother, man, the attorney Trump or Crump. They think that he's out here chasing ambulances. And it's like, dude, listen. First of all, that brother has experience working on high profile cases. Okay. Who else do you want working on the case, man? And sadly, this was another brother who brought this issue up, talking about he's chasing. I said, dude, first of all, somebody's going to take the case. Somebody's going to get paid. What are you really mad at? Okay. I think he had more of a problem with the fact that the brother was from out of state. And I'm like, dude, are you serious? How far have we gotten with the folks who are in state? You understand what I'm saying? We might need some help. We might need some outsiders to come in to shake some shit up. That's just what it is, man. And so, like I said, hopefully, man, this is, we sadly, we've seen it before, and kind of going back to, some of the people who still kind of in that shock state, man. They're trying to figure out, like, damn, how should I feel? Like, it's been a lot, man. It's been a lot, man. We're not going to forget. We're not going to forget, the history of this thing. But at the same time, we could take a breath right now. We could take a breath, you know what I'm saying, and just kind of rejoice in, what just happened here. Because to be honest with you, we all, I'm part of the group that thought that he was going to get the lesser. I didn't think he was going to walk scot-free, but, I thought for sure, he was going to get the lesser penalty. We're still waiting to see what the sentence is going to be, But just to be found guilty on all 3 accounts was definitely, it was a shock, but happy to see that happen, man. And so, where do we go from here, man? All I got to say is I've been seeing movement within the city. I've been seeing some of the organizations kind of stepping up, obviously been a little bit more deliberate and aggressive with their approach to the equity piece. And, while dealing with this stuff, man, I'm pretty sure collectively as a state, as a city, I ain't gonna say as a state, because that's the thing. When you get outside of the Twin Cities, you really see the real Minnesota. So I'm just going to say within the Twin Cities, man, huge weight has been uplifted off of our shoulders. And, for me, I need to see, what happens from here. What's going to be the actionable steps to come after this? Because what you do is you follow up with this. You want to you already sent one message. Okay. Now we want to kind of seal the deal. Okay. And basically, set in stone that we're going to have a zero tolerance when it comes to this, man. Because I was talking to my uncle, man, over these past couple of days, and he's in his 60s. And, my side of the family is from Kansas City, Missouri, my mother's side. And I was raised, my younger years in KC. And, when a lot of them, two of my uncles had moved to Minnesota, I would hear that all the time, man. And he just kind of reminded me like, dude, this has been going on since the 60s, man. He said St. Paul was the worst back then, Um, he told me about a couple experiences that he's had, and part of the reason he's not in Minnesota is due to always getting harassed. He's an older brother, professional brother, man. He likes to drive nice cars, man. And damn near whenever he leave the house, living in a decent neighborhood, folks want to pull him over. You understand what I'm saying? Like this shit is so old, man. It's old. That's my message to you know, to the supremists and to the idiots that follow these fools. Like, dude, aren't you tired of this shit, man? Like, seriously, aren't you tired of the bullshit? Like, what more? You got to be a piece of shit person, man. Like, to get up and look at somebody because they look different from you, and I'm just gonna decide to not like them and treat them like shit. Like what are you really saying? You know what I'm saying? Like what obviously they say hurt people. Like, what's going on with you? That's why I tell people, man, a lot of times this is gonna take you to look in that mirror, man. And I ain't trying to sound like the Michael Jackson song, but it is what it is, man. And oftentimes, like, we all gotta do that, man. Look in the mirror, man, and be like, oh, what's going on? What's going on, man? That energy ain't right. That energy ain't right, man. Period. And see, now, if you're in my age group, our youngins, our kids, they really don't, for the most part, participate in that BS. Their little buddies on the basketball teams and the football teams, man, they got guys from all different backgrounds, man. And they don't judge each other. They don't even see that shit, man. You understand what I'm saying? It's a different world. We're approaching different times. And I think that a lot of the fear comes from that. You see what I'm saying? They know things are changing. That's what the riots were about on the Capitol. They know things are changing. But at the same time, it's like, dude, that change doesn't have to mean that somebody's taking something from you. You understand what I'm saying? It's supposed to be a level playing field. Everybody's supposed to have the same type of opportunities come across the board, man. You understand what I'm saying? Like, this is what this is about, man. You treat people how you want to be treated, man. Flat out. And you man, you a piece of what if you got a badge and a gun, man, and you abusing your power. Like, come on, man. And you come into our communities and you want to police our communities, man. So that's my thing. I would say to the police chief, man, in general, when you're hiring and you're doing some recruiting, man, definitely look towards our communities, man. People who are of the community or they grew up in the communities, man. People of color don't scare them. They don't believe that Black men are inherently dangerous. You understand what I'm saying? Because I've seen officers, I've seen these individuals who come into our neighborhoods, right? And they automatically got this bravado about themselves, and they think they got to put this mask on, so to speak, in order to come police our communities, man. The thing is, we're people just like you. We want to be treated just like you. You understand what I'm saying? And so I got somebody here. Somebody said, no. No what? No what? Elaborate. Rusty said no. I don't even know if Rusty even worth even being on the show here, man. But like I told you, man, well, look, we unapologetic around here, man. This is a Black man's channel. Know that. Let me see. You could tell he can't even say nothing else but no. But anyway, let me get back on what I was saying. Excuse me. Justice was finally served, man. That's what we feel like. Finally, man. Straight up. When I say that, I say, I say Trayvon, even though Zimmerman wasn't a police. I mean, he acted like he was. You understand what I'm saying? We talk about Sandra Bland. We talk about Michael Brown. We talk about Tamir Rice, man. Terrence Crusher. We're talking about Walter Scott, man. We talking about, did I say Alton Sterling, man? Like, dude, Amadou Diallo, brother. The list goes on. Philando Castile, Jamar Clark. Man, young brother Dante Wright, bro. You understand what I'm saying? Criminal or not, you have to understand something, man. Even when we watch, and you know what's crazy, man? You know what's even more tripped out? Throughout the course of this trial, 2 people were killed by police. The 13-year-old, they said he had a gun. So I go back and I check that out, right? As they rolled up on him, it kind of reminded me of the situation with Tamir Rice. They rolled up on the kid. The kid had already thrown the gun. So once again, because I know that's going to be the focal point of a lot of you haters, the gun was gone. Gun was well ditched and gone. When that kid did this, they said, this is what's sad about it. The officer said, "Show me your hands." Kid comes out showing his hands, shoots him anyway. We saw the situation with Dante Wright. And the crazy thing is, I already had a couple of episodes, got another episode, this kind of backlog waiting for that too. But that's the thing about it. I can't even produce the damn episodes quick enough without another one of us getting killed by the police. Think about that shit. We got the we got the Derek Chauvin trial going on. Y'all still killing us, man. You can't make this shit up, man. You can't make this up, man. You understand what I'm saying? That's why I'm unapologetic about my approach. Can't nobody tell me about. You can't water me down when it comes to this shit, bro, at all. You understand what I'm saying? This is what we're talking about. So if you are not part of the solution, you are part of the problem, man. Check yourself, man. Seriously. And to my officers of the law, right? Officers of color. It's a tough position to be in, but it's not. You see what I'm saying? It is, but it's not. Because here's the thing. Imagine if any of these people were your son, were your daughter. So when you see somebody doing something, you say something, you stop them. Like, seriously, man, we gotta do better all the way around. You can't tell me just because you're on the police force, that's not good enough. That's not good enough, because if you're on the force, but you sitting there watching what's going on, you're no better than him. You're no better than him. Got to remember, we're talking about a system that's rooted in white supremacy and racism, man. You understand? Just because they've inserted you into that system, you are now a part of it. You understand me? Unless you're working to transform it, to change it. And I know it's tough. It's hard, man. It's tough. But guess what? Nobody said this was going to be easy. I think about how hard it was for our ancestors. You understand me? So that's what we're talking about, man. Let me see. I think one of the other brothers might tap in with me. I had so many people, man, on the line. Like, bro, we gotta talk about this. Let me see. See if we could get them up in here. But yeah, go ahead, chime in, man. I mean, I welcome all opinions. You know, that's for free. Weigh in. Let me hear what you got to say. You know, that on there. But hey, man, it feels good. That on there. It feels good, man. Finally, just to get that W up under our belt. But like I said, man, we got a ways to go. It's far from over. We got a ways to go. And if you with us, you with us. You know. And we're not talking about all white folks, because the thing about it is the folks who are I don't want to keep, because this is the buzzword right now, the allies. Okay, we already know where you guys stand because you're with us in this. Okay, you're checking in on us. You know, you know, letting us know your thoughts. So again, this is common sense. There's nothing difficult about getting along with other people. There's nothing difficult about wanting everybody to be prosperous in life. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong for rooting for other people. I always think about this. If it were the other way around, right? If it were us implementing this systemic racism and no pressures upon other people, like, dude, you know, how would you feel? You understand what I'm saying? How would you feel? I go and I read these comments, dude, and I say this all the time. I'm like, if you really want to know what the real Minnesota and Minneapolis looks like, man, just go into the comments of some of these articles, man. I saw there's an article about Target. You know, Target had allocated about $2 billion to Black-owned businesses, right? $2 billion. As soon as I click on the article, first thing I see, well, what about systemic racism? You know, oh, I thought it was about racism. I thought it was this. That is an equality. Can you imagine an all black this or all white this? Or a whites only this and a whites only? And I love when they say that one. I love it when they say that one. Because I'm like, dude, there was a whites only restaurants throughout the nation. There were white only drinking fountains. You understand what I'm saying? You like, seriously. All you got to do is just look at the statistics throughout the country, man. You know, there's been some things changing as of late, but for the most part, typically at the top of most of these big companies, who is it? It's typically a white male. Most of these places, your workforce is made up of white folk. And see, the way we get duped is because they want to lump everybody into the whole minority piece. And see, that's how they've been able to, you know, get away with not giving black certain opportunities because, well, we got a minority doing it. So, hey, it's got to count. But then you wonder why we place an emphasis when it comes to black, and we are celebratory when something happens for one of us. Because it's constant barriers, bro. Constant barriers, man. That we've always had to overcome. Like, it just is what it is, man. And so, and to some of us who seem to think that, and I mean us as in black folk, because you got a certain type of job, right? Or that you live in a neighborhood, certain neighborhood. You know, I run into people who seem to think that these things don't apply to them. That is, of course, until they run into their own situation. That's why I say life, man, experience are our best teachers, man. But don't ever get it confused that just because you happen to be black and you were able to obtain a certain role, that this whole idea or this whole dynamic of systemic racism is non-existent, brother. Because all you got to do is just look at how things are collectively. I know quite a few folks making six figures now. In Minnesota, in Minneapolis, guess what? We're still currently number 4 worst place in the state for black people. You understand me? So just because you got a few exceptions, same thing with Obama, because they like to say that, oh, we've had a black president. I mean, it's been, yeah, but the first, 40 something were white, dude. Let's be real here, man. Let's be real. Let's be real. That's a little progression. We still got a ways to go. And so it's not all about black, but it's just about giving other people the opportunities. You understand what I'm saying? So let me see. I want to see if a couple of my guys want to tap in. Let me see. So yeah, it'll be real interesting. Excuse me. What else comes from this? Get this brother in there. But yeah, I had to go live, man. I had to go live real quick. I mean, they've had tanks. They've had tanks on our streets, man. Further intimidating my people, man. Y'all been shooting us with the richer rubber bullets and the spraying of the mace like crazy, man. And hemming up our reporters. Yeah, you put our reporters on the street, took pictures of them, man, took their identification. Like, what the hell is going on, man? Like, what is this really turning into? Curfew. When they first applied the curfew, it was like 5:30 in the afternoon. I'm like, curfew? What the hell? Like, come on, man. Come on, man. All you got to do is do right by the people, man. Do right by the people, man. Straight up. Don't let it stop here. Do not let it stop here at all. For real. And to our white counterparts, man, when you see somebody and you know they're not right, you know that they don't have the true intentions, man, of damn it, equality. Check them, man. Straight up, check them. Check them. If you know they're wrong, check them, man. For real, because that's where this is gonna start. My people, man, I could just tell by looking, just looking, checking out my peoples, man. That we're exhausted, dude. We're exhausted, dude. There's folks that was losing sleep over this shit, man. They had nothing to do with it. Because like I said before, this is that collective trauma that I was talking about, dude. When one of us feel, man, we feel that shit, bro. We feel that. I remember when the Trayvon Martin situation, we all felt that to the heart, man. Sandra Bland, we feel that. You know why? Because we see ourselves in these people. We see our sons. We see our uncles, our wives, man. And it's like, dude. But you know what? My thing for us, man, for my people, really, is to get on our shit and stay on it. Let's get to building legacy. Let's get to building wealth. Let's get back to us and what we need to do. You see what I'm saying? Because we recognize this shit now. We recognize what's really going on. I notice whenever we start building, and you could go back into history with Black Wall Street, Rosewood, the whole nine. Whenever we start building stuff, folks get threatened. That's for a reason, man. So imagine if we were all on the same page collectively, man. You understand what I'm saying? Because now I'm talking about building us now. We ain't, this ain't about nobody else, but building us. Like I said, those who are with us are going to be with us. It don't take no convincing them to be on the right side of the law, to be on the right side of justice. Okay. We all know better than this. Straight up. And so with that being said, man, I'm going to go ahead and get up out of here. Like I said, your boy tired. I got some other things to go on, man. I want to keep saying, I want to say small victory because it's a pretty big deal that this has happened, but it's a small step towards where we're trying to go, man. And so, hopefully, we continue in this direction and start implementing those policies and start, reforming some of these laws that are around the justice system as it relates to my people, man. Because things have been lopsided for quite some time now. We talk about disparities all day long. The data's there. Okay. But now it's time to do something about it, man. And so with that being said, man, your boy Rico Lamar, I'm out, man. Again, justice for George Floyd, man. What's up? Shout out to my brother, Donald Williams, man. That's one of my MMA buddies, man. I take my hat off to you. And I know it was a big deal for you, man, to be able to do right by that brother Floyd, man. And so we appreciate you. Also want to shout out Miss Georgia Fort for her work that she's doing with Black News here in Minneapolis. She pretty much covered the entire trial, man, and she was getting into some of those spots and letting us see up close what was going on and, kept us informed. She was also out there on the streets with her gas mask on and, she was on the front line. So salute to that sister, man. And with that being said, your boy, man, Big Miyagi Vice, a.k.a. King Vice Versa. You dig? Let's all do better, man. We up out of here. Yada.